the question was posed to me, who is Melchizedek? If you're not familiar, he is a priest, a figure that we see Abraham encounter in Genesis after Lot had been kidnapped or taken as spoils in a battle. And Abraham gets word, and then he rounds up his men and he goes to rescue his nephew Lot. And after the battle, Melchizedek comes out. It describes him as the king of the city-state of Salem. He is a priest of the God Most High. And he blesses Abraham, and Abraham gives him a tithe, a tenth of the spoils of the battle. And so then there's this reference to Jesus in Hebrews that says he is a priest in the order of Melchizedek. Well, what does that mean? And some people have taken this to mean that Melchizedek is a special figure, that maybe he is actually what's called a Christophany, an appearance of Christ in the Old Testament pre-incarnation. Now that's certainly possible. If you look at Hebrews, I believe it's chapter 7, it describes Melchizedek as not having mother or father. There's no genealogy saying where he came from, that he did not, there's no death that is recorded. He just comes on the scene. He's this mysterious priestly figure. And as the Old Testament says, the priests, according to the law of Moses, the priests have to be descended from Aaron. Well, Melchizedek's not from Aaron. He's not a Levite. How can he be a priest? He must be special in some way. And this has led people to say that Melchizedek is an appearance of Jesus. Also, it's to note that his name means King of Righteousness. And it says that he's the King of Salem, which means peace. So he is the King of Righteousness and the King of Peace. And so people say, well, now then, this surely helps build a case that he is a Christophany. And that's possible. Here's the thing, though. The Bible never specifically tells us if this is so. So the question really comes down to, in Hebrews, when it's talking about Melchizedek, when it's talking about his genealogy, his lack of parents or death, is it saying literally that this person never was born and never died? If that is taken literally, then he is eternal. He has to be God. But if it's figuratively, if it's just saying that here is this mysterious figure, we don't know where he comes from, we don't know what happened to him, he just appears and then is gone. And it's this mysterious form where he appears, seems to be that he is forever, that there's not some descendant of Aaron or a Levite, that he is an eternal priest because we don't know where he came from, we don't know where he went, he's just there. If that's figurative, then it's possible that Melchizedek was just a man, but he's an illustration of Christ. We see plenty of those in the Bible also pointing to Jesus. Illustrations, types, shadows, things that are not specifically Christ themselves, but they're showing a type of what Christ will be like. Now, the Bible does not specifically say. So is it possible that Melchizedek is a Christophany, that he is Jesus pre-incarnate appearing to Abraham? It's possible. I don't tend to land that way because he's not only a priest, he's not only someone who appears to Abraham, he's a king. He is a man who is a king of a specific nation. There's a city-state of Salem, the place that I presume scholars believe will eventually become Jerusalem. He is a king. He's an earthly king. So that leads me to lean more in favor that he is a man, a great man, a man in a pagan culture who was worshiping and serving the one true God. And his figure in the book of Genesis, the mysterious nature of it, that he has no genealogical, easy for me to say, no genealogy, no beginning, and we don't see an end. He just comes on the scene, appears greater even than Abraham, because Abraham gives him tribute and he blesses Abraham. That this is an image, a picture, a type of Christ, pointing to what Christ will be like. But he himself, maybe, probably, I lean towards that it was not a Christophany. I could be wrong on that one, but like I said, it describes him as a king, that he has actually a person ruling over a city. And that means he's around, he's there. He's a separate person from Christ. Christ is not in body, in form, ruling over that city. He's King of Kings and rules over everything. And so, the Bible does not specifically say. The evidence for a Christophany is very intriguing, but I lean towards just a man.